And we're live. Welcome back, guys, to another show. After, let's be honest, a disappointing loss. This week was a loss, but let's be honest. Nobody could have guessed the results of, let's be fair, all of these games. I mean, all of them, according to stats, according to stats, nothing went as planned. So it was a tremendous loss. But guess what? You take one step back, you take two steps forward. So this is going to be a review and this week's prediction. So just because, like I said, football is moving quick, so I can't, I don't really have time to do two separate videos and upload them and all that bullshit. So I'm just combining it into one video because this is the only day off, and then tomorrow we're back on with the first game, which is going to be Leverkusen versus Freiburg. So let's do a quick little review of what just happened this last week. Okay, Matchday 28. I don't even know. As you guys can see, I have the whiteboard now behind me, but there's nothing written on there. But this is now match day 30th, I believe. I could be wrong. Again, I fucking always get these mixed up. But let's kind of review Wolfsburg versus Leverkusen. I thought it was going to be Leverkusen over 1.5, and they got murked. They got murked 4-1. Let's give credit to Wolfsburg. They put their chances away. They scored 3 headers, and that's kind of ironic because it was Leverkusen who was scoring a lot with headers through set pieces. So they scored 3 headers, and they just dominated the whole second half. They were solid in the back, and they put their chances away in set pieces, and they won 4-1. The next one was Frankfurt versus Freiburg. I don't remember putting a bet on this one. I wanted to stay away from this one, but I did kind of think Frankfurt was going to win. And they were winning 3-1, and then last 10 minutes of the game, they gave it away, and they ended up tying 3-3. I realized that there's been so many goals there's been so many goals in set pieces, so that's becoming a big factor. I don't know if no fans has to do anything to do with it, because that sounded weird, but but I don't know if again, just you don't have that pressure of thousands of fans booing you or cheering you on, so it's easy to lose focus in these games, and you can see that through all these set piece goals. So that was a 3-3 draw. And then Bremen versus Mönchengladbach, and that was a big surprise. So Bremen is second to last place versus Mönchengladbach, who's in 4th place. They were in 3rd place, so I put -1 spread, and I seriously thought they were going to win by over 2 goals difference. But no, let's be honest, Bremen has stepped it up. They haven't lost in their last 3 games. And wait, have they? I don't know. I sound like a fucking idiot. But they were playing great second half. I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights. And man, they were on Mönchengladbach's ass, man. I think they should have won. Sommer, goalkeeper for Mönchengladbach, definitely got man of the match on that one, because I mean he made so many saves, and like I said, Bremen looked like they were going to win that game, especially the last 5 minutes of the game. They looked like they're getting ready to put one away. So I wouldn't sleep on them. I think that they might win this next upcoming game, but we'll get to that in just a sec. Leipzig versus Hertha. I knew this was going to be a great game. I've said before, I love Hertha. I've never watched them, and now watching them after the break, I love how they play. They're very attacking. They're not afraid to put numbers forward, and it shows. They should have got this win. I think Leipzig got lucky with this draw. When they went up, I said that they were going to win over 1.5 goals, and they ended up drawing, and I think they should have lost. So, yeah, that second goal that they scored, the keeper gave it to them. The keeper straight up just threw it into his own net. and then that defense, it was a shitty defense. There was no reason to foul Cunha where he was at, and he was not a direct threat, and just sticking his leg in and just dropping him. I mean, it was stupid defending. They deserved to lose that game. But Hertha were great. I love the way they play. They're gonna keep climbing that table. They are way lower than they should be. They should be at least above Schalke, because Schalke is horrible. Next match was Union versus Mainz, which was a 1-1 draw. I did say under 2.5, so we got that one right. Let's move on to Augsburg versus Paderborn. I don't remember if I bet on this game, but I thought Augsburg was going to win at least 1-0, and they were just going to nick it by just one goal. But it ended up being a 0-0 draw. So I figured that this was going to be a low-scoring game, very boring match. So it was 0-0. Dusseldorf versus Schalke. As you guys can see, Schalke has still not woken up since this break. They did get on the board first, actually, through a goal from a brilliant goal. Another set piece scored by McKennie, my fellow American. And it was a great header, great cross in. And but no, Dusseldorf is a very attacking team. And they're just much like Hertha. I think they deserve to be way higher on the table than they are, due to their form, like after the break. So, yeah, they won 2-1. The next match was Hoffenheim versus Cologne. Cologne have just been horrible. You know, I was doing my research before as soon as the first match came back. And I thought Cologne were going to be great. I thought they were going to be in form, but they haven't won a single game since coming back. They drew 2. Maybe one should have been a loss, and then they lost this one 3-1. Hoffenheim scored great goals. And then Cologne were just horrible. They were just horrible. Their defense is horrible. So every time Cologne, I don't know who they're playing next. We'll get to that in just a sec, but I expect goals in any game with Cologne because I know they can score, but they also give up plenty of goals. They even got lucky with their last goal. That goal got lucky with that rebound off of the Hoffenheim player legs, and the keeper went one way and the ball went the other. So they got very lucky with that. But that's pretty much it and the most important game. I almost forgot about the most important game. Sorry, guys. It's because I write it down because I'm such a dumbass and I forget. So I had wrote in the very first game all the way on top, and I didn't even get to it. Dortmund versus Bayern. Let's be honest. That was. If you're not a football fan, you would have been very bored with that game. But if you really are a football fan, you would have noticed how technical that match was. Bayern put Dortmund to sleep. They blocked them. They blocked Haaland, Boateng, and what's his name? Fucking Davis. They shut Haaland down the whole match. He was before he got subbed off because it what looked to be a minor injury. They shut him down. Yeah, Bayern did. That just goes to show how good Bayern are, and the quality of Kimmich's goal. Granted, the keeper probably could have done a little bit better, but let's be honest, he placed it really well. He saw the opportunity and he did what he did. I know there was an interview with Mueller saying that they noticed that Dortmund's keeper is off his line a lot, so they did their homework and Kimmich put that chance away, and that was the decider of the game. And now it looks like Bayern's gonna. I really wanted Dortmund to win because it would have just kept things more interesting. It would have brought down Bayern, and then Dortmund would have been closer to that first place spot. And then other teams such as Mönchengladbach and Leverkusen, they would have been hyped to get. They would have had a better chance of reaching the first place spot. So they would have been hyped, and things would have been way more intense. But I don't think Bayern are going to slip up anytime soon, especially up against their next match, and they pretty much have the title in their hand already. But all right, let's go on to this week's predictions and bets. Again, I'm just going to go off of Bovada is what I'm using on my phone, and I'm just reading the odds as the time of this recording. Got it? Okay, so I'm going to go in the order that they are here. So the first game is Freiburg versus Leverkusen. And if I'm being quite honest, Leverkusen let me down. So we need to bounce back on this one, and I don't really trust Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen are gonna win. If you want to take that chance, and I would go over 1.5 goals. But well, first let's go. Let's see, Freiburg to win are at plus 370. Leverkusen are at minus 145. Draws at plus 295. Over and unders at 3 goals. Over is at negative 115 and unders at 105. So I think I'm gonna go over 2.5 goals total goals, and which is at negative 180, and combine it with another game in a 2-game parlay. So like I said, I really don't know how Leverkusen is gonna bounce back from this their loss against Wolfsburg. I think they are gonna bounce back, but I'm not willing to take that risk. I want to play it a little safe, and so let's move on to the next game. Schalke versus Bremen. Like I said, Schalke haven't woken up. I don't think Schalke are going to get this one, even if it's versus Bremen. Bremen, they dominated Mönchengladbach, who is now in 4th place. So Schalke, who's sleeping, I honestly think Bremen can win this game. If you want to do this little cheeky bet and get a good payout, Bremen have a good chance of winning this game. At least getting a draw. And Schalke is at plus 150. Bremen is at plus 180. And draws at plus 230. And I think over and under is at 2.5. And I think you can even do under 2.5 goals. If Bremen wins, they'll win by 1. Or even 2. But I don't think Schalke is going to score. And if they do score, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. If that makes sense. So the next game is Mainz versus Hoffenheim. I don't know. Mainz have been drawing a lot of games, and they haven't been winning. Hoffenheim looked great. They performed great versus Cologne. I can see Hoffenheim winning, and I think I can see Hoffenheim winning. However, I'm gonna probably do over/under total goals. But let's look at the odds. So Mainz is at plus 175. Hoffenheim's at plus 140. Draws at plus 270. Over and unders at 3 goals. Overs at negative 125. And unders at plus 105. I would probably take over 3 goals out, negative 125. Next game is Hertha Berlin versus Augsburg. I'm going to wake up, because here in California, these games are at 6:30 a.m. So I'm going to wake up to see this game, because I really love watching Hertha Berlin play. They're playing beautiful football. So they're at negative 110. Augsburg's at plus 280 and draws at plus 275. And I'm going to go with Hertha Berlin win here. Over and unders at 2.5 and 3 goals. They're both at negative 110, but I'm going to go with Hertha Berlin to win this game. I think they're going to beat Augsburg. You can even do a negative 1 spread, because I think they're going to win by at least 2 goals difference. If negative 1 spread is at plus 180, which is not a bad bet, because Hertha Berlin are putting goals away. Next game is going to be Wolfsburg versus Frankfurt. Frankfurt, as you can see in the last match, they can score, but their back line is horrible, man. They give up so many goals. Wolfsburg's is at negative 110. Frankfurt's at plus 270. Draws at plus 275. Over-unders at 2.5 and 3 goals. Overs at negative 125. Unders at plus 105. But I think Wolfsburg are going to take this game, and I'd go with over. I'd go Wolfsburg win and over 1.5 goals at. Here, let me tell you right now, at plus 130. It's a really good bet. Next game. Let's go to the next game. Where we at? Bayern Munich versus Dusseldorf. As much as I love watching Dusseldorf play, because I know they should be higher in the table than they are now, but this is where they're gonna get slapped by reality, because odds aren't even. They're super low on Bayern. They're at negative 1,800, and Dusseldorf's at plus 2,500. Over/unders at 4 goals. Overs at a negative 120. Unders at 4. Unders at even. I would go for Bayern Munich to win. And you know what? I would even take a risk on this one and a spread of let's see. I can see a spread of 2.5, so at least 3 goals difference amongst each other at negative 150, and even that's not even the best. If you want to do, I know Bovada has these like special bets kind of that you can do. I'd even do. They have like correct score groups and which team to win, and I say Bayern Munich to win with at least 4 goals and up, and that's still a negative 125. So Bayern need to score at least 4, and I think they are gonna do that. So the next one is where are we at? What the hell? Did I skip a game? Sorry, guys. Oh no. Oh yeah. Mönchengladbach versus Union Berlin. I think Mönchengladbach are gonna come back from their recent loss, and they're gonna come back and get another win here. They're at negative 200. Union is at plus 550, draws at plus 330. Over and unders at 2.5 and 3 goals. Overs at negative 125. Unders at plus 105. I would go with the negative 1 spread from Mönchengladbach at negative 120. And you can add it with another game for a good parlay. And then Paderborn versus Borussia Dortmund. Again, Dortmund, they didn't get hammered, but they got tactically, outplayed by Bayern. I mean, without a doubt. It just shows the experience and the quality of Bayern Munich. But Dortmund are going to come back to winning ways after they play last place team. They're at negative 305. Paderborn's at plus 750. Draws at 450, plus 450. Over-unders at 3 and 3.5 goals. They're both at negative 110. I would go for Borussia Dortmund to win and over 2.5 goals at... let's see. Give me a sec. Sorry, guys. To win and over 2.5 goals at negative 125. So still not even the best. And then the last game, other than that extra game that we're going to get from Bremen because it was a match that hasn't been played yet. Cologne versus Leipzig. Again, Cologne, they're just looking horrendous. I don't know what to tell you about them. You know, they keep dropping down the table, and they're not getting any wins. They're at plus 450. Leipzig's at negative 180. Draws at plus 345. Over-unders at 3 and 3.5 goals. Overs at negative 115 and unders at negative 105. And I think Leipzig are going to come back to winning ways. As disappointing as they were this last game, even getting a red card and dumb fouls in the penalty box, they should win this game. I think they should win this game. And if you want to play it safe, just because both these teams have let me down, I'd go at Leipzig to win and over 1.5 goals at just to not risk it at negative 140. And then we'll throw in that little bonus game of Bremen versus Frankfurt. I think this is another game that Bremen can win, and I mean, Bremen needs to win to get out of the relegation zone, and I think these are the games that they need to be winning to be able to get out of that spot and push another team down. As of right now, it looks like it's Dusseldorf, Mainz, and Frankfurt should be looking over their shoulders. Because if Bremen win these next 2 games, then these, depending on how those teams do, they need to be looking back and be careful because Bremen they're looking like they're waking up. So I can see Bremen winning here. These, like I said, these are the games they need to win. But I could see a draw too, low-scoring draw. So I mean, Andre Silva, he's good. He's really good. I think he should be in another team and not in Frankfurt. But I would cover my bet. I would do if you want to do, I would do Bremen draw no bet at even. Bremen's at plus 175. Frankfurt's at plus 145. Over and unders at 2.5 and 3 goals. Both at negative 125. But I would go Bremen to win. Draw no bet at even. All right, guys. Well, let's get back to winning ways. because I did take a loss in this last week's matches, but like I said, nobody could have guessed these results. These results were crazy. But that's just football. That's just a beautiful game. You know, you never know what's gonna happen. So nothing's ever for sure thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed and keep watching. Let's hopefully get a winning week, and then I'll see you guys on the next video, guys. Peace.